and welcome to Sestra-Tainment. I'm Lenora.
I'm D.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah. So today I'm going to get started, and it's going to be about Alex Murdaugh. And unless you've been under a rock, you probably know that Alex Murdaugh is being... this week, I guess I would say, he was as a continuation of his trial, and the trial ended this week, and he is on trial for having his wife and son killed. I believe it was the younger son. And so, called Paul, but he called him Paul, and his wife. And so therefore, yes, so he supposedly said he wasn't there. Then he was caught on video that his son took on his cell phone. That's one of the things that was a part of the conviction, actually,
okay,
because he was, let me go back and say, he was convicted this week of killing his wife and son and trying to hire a hit person, all for the insurance money, because he was rich and just wanted to keep all of the money. And then supposedly an attempted murder / fake kind of, like, he thought he was worth more dead than alive, so he was almost trying to kill himself as well, was a part of what was coming out in 2021 when all this hit the fan, so that way his son, the oldest son, Buster, could get all the money. And so yeah, it's very strange and twisted. But what happened is that during the trial, what came out was that his son Paul, a few minutes before the murder, was taking pictures and video inside the kennel. And when Alex Murdaugh said that he was not there, they listened to the son's phone video, and lo and behold, whose voice was on there? But his father's, right before this actually took place.
That's horrible.
Plus, there was some video kind of that made it seem as though he was close by and in close proximity. So he started off lying to police. Then he finally ended up telling the truth. And basically, the entire trial was about all the lies that he told through this whole situation, but him saying, yes, I'm a liar, but I'm not a murderer. That was basically the gist of him being on the stand, and just like, well, I'm a liar. Yeah, I did lie to the police, and I did say I wasn't there, and I did say this, and I did say that, I wouldn't have killed my wife and my son, you know. So,
but why would you lie to police?
Exactly. So what I came to find out, and I didn't really follow the story every day, all the podcasts, you know, all of the craziness of the story, because to me, it's like I could see the writing on the wall when it happened back in 2021 that, this guy was involved in having his wife and his son killed, which is just a horrendous thing to even say out loud.
Your wife and your son.
Well, let's talk about Paul. So, Paul, he actually is I guess you would say, the main character of a Netflix show that's on right now called it's called the, here it is, the Murdaugh Murders, A Southern Scandal, something to that effect. I don't know. I wrote it down, but then I can't read my own handwriting. So anyway, but it's on Netflix. It's one of the top trending ones. You'll find it pretty easily. But basically, if you just put in Murdaugh, you'll find this story. And it starts off about Alex Murdaugh's son, Paul, the one who was killed, who he calls Paul, which I thought he was calling Paul, but it was Paul. So anyway, so it just starts off with this, I thought that I was almost on episode 2 or something, like I had missed something, because it was just a bunch of friends walking on a dock, getting ready to get on a boat, and then talking about Paul being drunk.
You know what? Now I remember all of this. I ended up listening to a podcast, the 2020 podcast, and I remember this maybe, I don't know.
It was back probably when, somebody might have been talking about it after the murders and everything.
It was them doing their own investigation.
Yeah, so basically Paul hanging out with his friends, they actually went to an oyster, fest or whatever you want to call it. Like, they went to a place where it was like barbecue and like an oyster pit, so to speak, where they just had not even grilled oysters, more so than shucking oysters and things like that they were eating raw. And so Paul got drunk, and he was insistent on driving the boat back to the original dock. And so what ends up happening is that all his friends are like, no, Paul, you're drunk. Like, and they said they knew when he was drunk because he went from being Paul to being Timmy.
Yeah.
So they said that was his nickname.
They just
when
made
he
it
was
up.
drunk, because they said that his eyes glazed over. It was like he looked right through you. They said even his hands, the way he would hold his hands were all like contorted and stuff like that. And you just knew that he was like far, far gone and wasted. And so what they had said was that they were trying to get the keys for him, and he was like, it's my effing boat. I'm going to drive it, the whole 9 yards. So therefore, they got on the boat. He decides he wants to stop at a local pub, even though he's drunk. So they stop at the pub. And then on the way to the dock, which nobody wanted to be at the pub other than him. And so once they got actually to the original or towards a bridge, that he hit it. Yeah. And they basically said he was walking away from the boat, like going at a high speed. First, he was doing circles. It's midnight. So he's doing circles. I know this, lake like the back of my hand.
And was his friend like Jason or something like that was trying to stop him?
There was a Connor. There was a Al. Oh gosh.
No, I know one of the boys was trying to stop him. Was like, dude, I'm gonna drive the boat. And he was like, no. And then it was like
he was insistent that it was his boat and he was gonna drive it. And then there was all this commotion, stuff going on, and so the boat hits the bridge, and then kids go flying everywhere. And then one of the guys, he said, okay, when I came out of the water, somebody's like, where's Mallory? Where's Mallory? What's going, like we can't find Mallory. So the water was rushing. So this guy was like, I'm a swimmer. So I was kind of going against the water, trying to dip in as many times as I could to find her. That was his
girlfriend, right?
No, this wasn't the one whose girlfriend it was. No. This was a friend of the family, if I'm remembering correctly. And so what ends up happening is that Mallory, they couldn't find. They could not find her. So then the story goes into them calling their parents, telling their parents, well, of course, calling 911 first and letting them know to come out there. They said, ambulances and police cars were coming from everywhere. Then it went to calling the parents, not calling Mallory's parents, but they were telling the police, like, somebody's got to let her parents know. But their parents didn't want to call Mallory's parents and be the people to tell them that bad news. So they were like, I have her number, but, it's 4 a.m. now. I don't know if I want to be the one to make those calls.
That's horrible.
And so the kids all end up at the hospital. Mallory's mom does get a call, knows that Mallory's not at the hospital, so she goes out to the river where Mallory's boyfriend's still there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm not leaving until I find Mallory. And so what ends up happening is that, interestingly enough, all of a sudden, while Paul is basically almost restrained in the hospital because he was so blatantly drunk and acting erratic, his grandfather and father come to the hospital, and now the pressure begins of them like, oh yeah, because Connor was driving the boat, right? Yeah. And Connor was doing this. And so, you're in surgery.
Connor was the one who wanted to take the keys from him originally.
Right. I remember that part. And was trying to stop him. So Connor's busted up. His face is busted up, whatever. Paul's girlfriend, she was on the boat. Her hands all lacerated, all this. And they're showing all this. They're like showing a documentary almost along with some reenactment kind of stuff. But like it's a lot of documentary stuff. Right, exactly. Because of the fact that they have cameras of when the, they were leaving the bar and going down the dock. And they have all of these things saying, like, this is when we left, and you could see the boat leaving and all those kind of things. And plus, just teenagers anyway have phone video of different things that were going on. Like, this was the Oyster Fest day. This is what we put on Snapchat about this day before the accident kind of stuff. And so basically, the father and grandfather just start working the kids and the parents and it's kind of, they called Connor's parents like, hey, just want to let you know we'll represent Connor. He'll be okay. Like,
they're going to find somebody to be the lawyer for Connor.
Right, exactly.
Like, bro,
a girl, one of the girls, she was in surgery, the girlfriend, and they're like, we are representing her, so don't worry, honey, like, go ahead, have your surgery, but we got you covered. And her parents are like, we hadn't even gotten there yet, and you're trying to say that you're going to represent my daughter?
But then also, the Murdaughs are, they're big in the
they
town,
are huge. Right? So this is Hampton, South Carolina, and so this family, let's just say it's more than 100 years worth of attorneys. So therefore it was the grandfather, the father, Alex Murdaugh, and then his son was getting ready to go to law school so that he could too follow in his father's footsteps and be an attorney. So they said basically in Hampton County, South Carolina, they owned everything.
Yeah, they were
the people. They were the ones that you knew not to mess with. If anything happened, you keep your mouth quiet. And even when this happened with Paul, he never got arrested. He never went to jail. He never, it was like brushed under the rug. They pulled strings, and they said they kind of knew police officers, different kinds of detectives. The father was the district attorney. Like, it's all this stuff. So, like, they were just able to anything. And they said that Paul really was the troublemaker of the family. Like, he always was getting in trouble and doing things he shouldn't do. And his grandfather would be the first one he would call. And his grandfather would take care of it.
But it's like, but if you're always going to get in trouble and you know that somebody's going to come and take care of it, then you're not going to stop.
Right, exactly.
Keep getting in trouble.
And then it's almost like some of the kids, and I mean, now after Mallory, you know, unfortunately passed away, and then you have, you know, everything that's happened with the Murdaughs since then, them speaking about it, it's a different vibe, I feel like, when, oh, I'm the kid who's close to that kid, versus, oh, that kid has done some horrible things. Now I'm going to distance myself from that kid. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So I don't know, and I couldn't get from the documentary. Like, basically, the documentary sounds like everybody hated Paul, but they tolerated Paul. Okay. But I'm like, but if you hated Paul, why were you hanging around Paul?
Because Paul had the boat and Paul had the money.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's almost like you were hanging around him because you like the prestige of knowing a Murdaugh in the local community. But now it's like, I really didn't want to get on the boat. I really didn't want to do, you know, all these different things with him. I didn't like him like that, you know, and I'm just like, I get that, but at the same time, it's like... You
put yourself in that situation.
And that's what one of the kids did say. He said, look, I should have known better. No, I think it was a female. She was like, we should have known better than to get on that boat with him. We knew he was drunk, and that's a decision that I have to live with every day. That I chose to get on that boat with Mallory, and... she didn't make it home, and we did, you know, and that's just terrible. And so basically this family, like I said, they owned everything. They owned 1,000 acres, multiple homes, a boat, a kennel, a landing strip for their airplane on their own property. Like, they were just the people. And then Alex Murdaugh would they would have a watermelon festival in their town, and the law office was near the street of the watermelon festival. He would have 14 and 16-year-olds come into the office, pour them drinks of alcohol, and just give 14 to 16-year-olds alcohol right inside there, whether their parents knew about it or not. So the girlfriend of Paul was like, my family never drank like that. So I didn't know enough about all this stuff, but his family drank a lot, and that's when I started drinking more by hanging out with them. And so they were really a bad influence on me because my parents really didn't do that and wouldn't allow me to drink at those ages. So long story short, all of this happened, and this is just episode 1 of the Netflix series.
Yeah, because there's so many layers to this.
So many layers.
So many
layers. So I haven't even gotten even deeper.
Got to the murder trial yet. There's 2 murders that happened.
Yeah.
Well, 3 murders that happened, but it's like, but then you haven't even gotten to the murder that he's on trial for.
He's on trial for, right. This is just about Paul.
Yeah, it's about his son.
I just looked at, because this was 3 episodes that I saw on Netflix, and it said something that alluded to the next horrible thing that Paul did. And I'm like, well, what was the next thing? So I'm almost wondering, and this is just, you know, Lenora talking, and, you know, I have no insight. And again, I didn't even watch the murder trial, but I wonder if he was like, if I have a son who's going to be trying to do exactly like me, be an attorney, keep the Murdaugh lifeline and name alive, and a son who's the troublemaker and is always trying to get out of everything, like, which one am I going to take out? You know, and I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I mean, that seems to be where this guy's mentality was, because even the judge this week was just like, you have to live with this, and your wife and your son are probably haunting you every night in your dreams because you made this decision. And he said, all day, every day, they haunt me.
But I feel like if he was trying to get rid of the son, he wouldn't get rid of the wife.
I don't know what the backstory is, unless he just wanted to be single. I don't even really know anything
about his wife.
He might have just wanted to be single. The only thing that the documentary has said to this point about his wife is that she did not give as much attention or affection to Paul as she did to Buster. That she was very distant with Paul. And I don't know if that's because, look, you're always getting in trouble. Like, I can't continue to, I don't like that your father's always bailing you out, although she would show up too, because the other thing Paul did, he had an accident with a bunch of people in the car, and he was drunk, and he shouldn't have been driving, and he was insistent that he was going to drive, and lo and behold, they said, oh, this was an interesting story. So the mother, the father, and the grandfather show up at the accident, pull out all the guns that were in the back of the car.
Oh, and take it to their car?
And all the bottles and cans of beer that were in the car, and then they could call 911. So they couldn't call 911.
They showed up before.
What happened was the girl was getting ready to call 911, and her boyfriend, Paul, took the phone through it and was like, no, we got to call my grandfather first. So then the grandfather came with the father and the mother, cleaned up the scene, then called 911, and she said they didn't even check on us. They went straight for the guns in the car before they even checked on us and made sure all the alcohol evidence was missing. And then, it
was like, oh, hey, y'all all right? All right.
It's insane. It's insane, the power that this family had. And I think that's why it's such a big trial, especially in South Carolina. I mean, it is globally now at this point, but it was in South Carolina because it's like your top attorneys
exactly
in your local area are now on trial. Like, this guy's on trial himself, and all you have ever known is this family being like, yeah, they get away with everything, including murder, and nobody can touch them. But now it looks like something is finally going to happen.
But I feel like an attorney would know what to do and what not to do.
You would
think. To kill someone.
You would think, especially if there's somebody who, if you're a defense attorney or if you're a prosecutor, you're hearing enough information.
Yeah, exactly. And then you already know the law.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well,
And I think he felt like he probably could have gotten away with it. It feels like a Scooby-Doo reference.
Are they in South Carolina right now? The trial's not in South Carolina.
I don't even have a clue.
I would say they shouldn't have had it in South Carolina. If so, then he's going to get off.
No, he just got convicted.
Oh, he did get convicted?
No,
yeah,
that's what I was saying. Right. Yeah, he got convicted. And the crazy thing is like one day this week he got convicted. The next day they sentenced him to life in prison. Right. So it was no grass growing under anybody's feet on this trial. Like even the jury, they said, made the decision in 45 minutes. But then they came back after 3 hours. So I think they made the decision, and people were like, nah, we can't have you go. And everybody gonna know he convicted if you go back out there in 45 minutes. Like, come on, let's just give you lunch.
Yeah.
And then have you come back and
chill,
say, just take a moment, take a beat. Are y'all sure?
Let's get on social media,
I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, it is a horrific.
I wonder if it's gonna be like a Jeffrey Epstein type thing where it's like, oh, he just suddenly died in his cell.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't wish any harm on anybody else in all of this that has already happened.
Or maybe somebody might break him out. Or he might be the kingpin in there because he knows so many people.
I have no clue, but I don't know how well super rich or who pretended to be super rich, because I think that was part of why he did all of this, was for the money. But, like a super rich attorney who may have even assisted in some people going to jail will do in jail. Like, I don't know if he'll even need to be in some kind of protection area or
if he has money, his father's still alive, he has money. He might be like, look, I know I put you in jail, but I'll take care of your family. My dad's out there. He can take care of your family.
I am not sure, but I just know that, I am glad that he was found guilty. I assumed that he would probably get life only because of the fact that somebody who could kill their own child, like the wife part, I mean, you hate to say this, but you see stories about that all the time, very consistently.
And usually if it's a child that somebody's killing, it's usually like a young child or like a baby.
And it's like sometimes it's accidental, left in his car, something like that. Or Casey Anthony, another thing that it's like, what in the world? And she got off, so, But yeah, so I assumed that he would probably get life. And so, I just wanted to, talked about it much longer than, it's almost 20 minutes in. I didn't mean to talk about it that long. on. But yeah, but that's one of the things that I just wanted to cover was the trial of the year, I guess you would say. I mean, some people were like, OJ was the trial of the century. Maybe this is the trial of this decade, I guess. And maybe this will be the trial
of the century post-COVID.
Post-COVID. Okay, there we go. Yeah, well, that's what I had, the Murdaugh case. So what do you have, sis? All right.
So I have Roar. Oh, God. Roar is on Apple TV.
Yep.
Okay, so look. The actresses, and the actors, top notch, top tier. So it's like the Twilight. So it's a TV show. It's like the Twilight Zone or like Black Mirror.
Yep.
And I was wondering, like, I saw the preview, and I was like, oh, these actors and actresses, like, I know this is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
And I was wrong.
Yes, I think we both were.
Yeah. And I was always wondering, like, why did I never see like any trailer or nobody was talking about it or anything like that? And it's like, now I know why.
Yeah.
So
we will.
Yeah. So each episode is a different storyline, so none of them like coincide with each other. So each episode is this individual like show.
Okay.
So the stories are outrageous and funny, but the end of them suck horribly. They are garbage with the ending.
Some of it, the middle is garbage.
Oh yeah, I fast forward through some.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah,
it left a lot to be desired.
So look, let me tell you this. All right, so these are the actresses, and I'm just going to. Well, is this actresses? Oh yeah, I'm going to say the actresses: Issa Rae, Cynthia Erivo, Alison Brie, Nicole Kidman, Faval Stewart, Betty Gilpin, Merritt Weaver, Mary Saval, and Judy Davis, and there's a bunch more.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a star-studded, like
star-studded lineup.
Like, Apple went out of their way to be like, look, we got this little bit of money. Let's go ahead and, like, give it to these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. They should not have given it to these
I mean,
people.
you could have just used anybody. Like, you didn't have
you didn't have
for the way that the stories went, you didn't even need to have an all-star cast.
Exactly.
I think it's almost like they knew it wasn't that great, so the all-star cast will help it
to pop or
generate. And
but then I mean, there was no actual. Like, I just feel like there was no advertisement for it. Well, or maybe there was advertisement. I just didn't see it.
I don't. Number one, everybody streams so much that I don't know if people see as many advertisements as they possibly could. But you might have seen it on like an NBC or something like that if you're looking at TV. But yeah, I don't know if Apple. I feel like a lot of things that Apple. Like, I've just stumbled upon Ted Lasso through word of mouth. I don't think I even really saw many commercials about Ted Lasso to pull me there. The only one that I think they really marketed because they were using that as their core flagship show was the morning show with Jennifer Aniston and that cast, because I think that they were just like, we need to do something to
I think that one and C, because it had Jason Momoa.
I don't even remember seeing any previews on that.
C? Yeah, I remember seeing some stuff for C. I think they were, but I mean, it was just all Jason Momoa.
Because I was watching it and it was like, Alfred, what was she doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because that's what I'm saying.
Everything that I saw was just like him.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta go back to that.
Yeah, like I said, I fast forward through a few episodes, because it was not that good at all. So it just leaves you hanging. I think that the idea was great, but the writing was like missing something. Like, whoever was writing, I don't know if it was like individual writers for each episode or what, but like everything was missing something. Everything was like a riddle. Like everything was just
nothing was clear. Like when it ended, you were like, huh. Okay, now what did I watch?
Yeah. So like so one of the episodes is about a woman and she just has bite marks all over her.
Yep.
And they just keep coming and coming and coming and coming.
Yeah.
And then there's another one who's a woman who is sitting on a pedestal, like she's on a shelf, in her boyfriend's
husband.
I don't know. I can't remember if it was boyfriend. It doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't. It really does.
It was garbage. But anyway, it's like in his office. And then there was one, the girl who loved the horse, like who loved horses. Like that one was just, like she was just going to try to kill somebody who killed her father. That was the whole episode.
Where did the horse come in? Because I stopped.
Because she rode a horse to go. That's literally why. But then apparently, I mean, like it ends up coming up like when one girl was just like, "Oh my God, you still love horses?" And that's all you ever heard about horses in that whole episode. Like, what?
Oh my gosh.
What was the other one that I saw?
The Nicole Kidman
Oh yeah,
one.
yeah, eating pictures. Why are you eating pictures?
Yep.
What makes you be like, oh, I bet you this tastes good?
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture in a photo album from my childhood.
Yeah.
And something tells me if I eat
Yeah,
it,
eat it.
it would be beneficial.
Just shove it in your mouth.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like the whole photo album.
Yep. Yep. And I mean, you saw the reasoning behind some of the stuff, but it still wasn't good.
I didn't see any reasoning.
No,
okay.
I
You know which
mean-
one wasn't bad? The one that Alison Brie did.
I didn't see that one.
That was the one where she was solving her own murder.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that one.
That one was good. The ending, garbage.
Oh, gosh.
She walks up steps,
Oh, God.
but you don't see the steps. You just see her slowly walk up.
Okay. I didn't know.
What? Like she's
So
like,
that's her dying.
but like
She stayed in purgatory until
she's a ghost and she's trying to talk to a detective, and like you can't talk to him first of all because
you're a ghost.
you're a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Am I getting through to you?" And then he says something stupid, and then she just turns around and is like, walks up some steps. That's what I'm saying. It was stupid.
Yeah.
It was not.
It doesn't even make sense.
It makes no sense at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like why?
Yep. Nope.
I don't.
That was almost all of them.
I don't
degree.
get it.
I do feel like the one with the bite marks, that one had the best.
Yeah, you had to explain that one to me because I was like, "What? What is this?" I didn't even realize that was like bite marks. I was just trying to figure out what they were because I don't feel like they look like bite marks. I think it felt like it looked like.
In the beginning, they started looking like bite marks. I feel like the more she started having,
once it was
on
like on her leg and her arm and stomach and stuff like that. I was
but
like,
that one had a decent enough description, and I feel like the Issa Rae one, I figured out just metaphorically, but I don't know if that was right. But I got something more interesting than that too that I'm gonna talk about tonight.
A girl falling in love with a duck.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna watch.
And then
that
she
one.
realizes that the duck is mean.
Is the duck is who?
Mean. He's mean to her. He's abusive. You're dating a duck. It's a duck.
Wait.
Yes.
Okay.
She's all right. Here's how it goes. She sits at the park.
She sees a duck.
She sees a duck. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like,
Oh, the duck can talk to her.
The duck can talk. The duck doesn't move
talks.
his beak or anything, but he just telepathically can talk.
Telepathic talking.
Don't know. I was thinking, okay, you know what? Maybe they're going to kiss, and then he's going to turn
be the
into
Prince
No,
Charming.
there was a duck and woman sex scene.
You know what? I'm done. I'm done.
Roar is garbage. Okay.
I'm done. So now we have what is considered bestiality, basically.
a duck
with an
and a
animal and a person. Okay, gotcha. Which I thought might have been the case because of how weird all the episodes were before The Woman Loves a Horse. I was thinking that might have been what would happen with The Woman Loves a Horse because that's how crazy, stupid
she's
this show is.
just a girl who she has a horse and she rides it and
tries to.
she goes and gets her dad horse. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Guys, don't watch Roar.
I don't get how.
No, watch it for the entertainment. See if you can figure it out. Please let us know.
Oh no!
I mean, I don't get it. Because I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. But other people might be like, "Oh, it's like a metaphor. This means blah 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 blah
yeah,
blah."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Okay, that's good for you. I love this for you." Because for me, I don't like it.
Yeah, because that's how I felt with the end of the first one. The end of the first one, I was like, "Oh, okay, I see it. You're not seen. You can't. You know, when you compromise your integrity, it makes it so that you are no longer seen. You're no longer, you know, and I won't say what that particular scenario was, but it's like, you know, okay, you're no longer seen, you're no longer, but as soon as you realize, you know what, I don't have to settle for this, now your voice can be heard.
Yeah,
so that's kind of how I took the first one, but it still left so much to interpretation. Like, I could be completely wrong.
Okay, so just want to let you know, I watched the duck one, and then I was like, there's one left that I should watch. Should I watch it?
Should I watch it? Yeah.
Actually, it was two left. It was a lady who returned her husband.
Yeah.
To like a Costco. And then they have a area where it's all the husbands that the wives have returned. But when you return your husband, you have to get another husband.
Oh, gosh.
So now this lady's like 60-something years old, and she gets like this young, like 30-something-year-old guy. Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's awkward. It was really awkward when I was watching the show. I didn't like that at all. I was like, I don't know what's happening here. Just go back, get your husband, go home. Why did you return him in the first place? It's just,
yeah, no.
I don't even understand.
This is
like,
one of
I understand like Twilight Zone is like off the wall, Black Mirror is off the wall, but I understand what's going on with those shows.
Right, right.
There's puzzles, and you know, you put it together. Oh,
and
you
when
got a whole
it's
picture.
done, you're like, oh wow,
oh wow, that's crazy. You know what? Oh my God, everybody has a pig face. She just has a regular face, like Twilight Zone. Yes. No, this is. Oh, you know what? I think that I am happy. Wait, no, I'm not. Boom, done. Scenes, credits. What? I don't know. I don't get it. Watch it, don't watch it. I don't.
That's what I was going to say. This is going to be one of your watch it or don't
watch it or don't.
But you know what? The good thing about this show is you could read, based on my lovely sister Dee's explanations of these episodes, you could just read the title and say, oh, The Girl Who Loves Horses. I kind of thought that sounded interesting. Maybe I'll just watch that one.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
even know
I'll
what
watch the one with the woman who eats the pictures. That sounds like,
please, somebody please watch the one with the lady and the duck.
Don't.
No. All right, so look.
Sounds like the one that everybody
that one actually kind of made some sense.
Oh gosh, it figures.
That was the only one that was like, oh, okay, I get it. So it's like
this, yeah.
It's basically like how you see people. Mm-hmm. So it's like
how you see people versus how they actually are.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I got that. Didn't even watch it.
So it's
Love
like
it.
she's like, oh, I see him as a duck, and it's like, but he's not a duck. Yeah. Though. He's talking to you telepathically.
But the thing is, but you have to realize too that there are a lot of people who, and that must be what the person or persons who came up with these storylines. It's like there are people who are living this kind of world. There's people who want to live in the past. There are people who are thinking about
returning their husband.
There are women who are like, hey, I'm done with this guy, and I would turn him in a heartbeat. I can't, but I would, you know. And then it's like, how do we take it and turn it into something where, oh, well, what if you could? What if you could take your trophy wife and make her a trophy on top of a mantle? Yeah. Like, how would that go in real life?
I was still trying to figure out how she changed her clothes. When did she eat? When did she pee? When did she poop?
Yep. When did she shower?
When did she shower? When did she do any of that? Because she's all like every time
always on the mantle.
And we never saw the rest of the house, did we?
No.
We just saw that one room.
Mm-hmm. In the pool. Yep, that was it.
Yeah, that was
so
all.
You know, and so somebody was like that concept of what if this were to happen, then what if when you ate a picture, this was the experience you had on the other side of that? What if you were a wife that had to sit on a mantle? What if you were somebody who sold your soul and, you know, compromised yourself? What if you loved a duck? I don't know. But maybe it's more of what if you are somebody who always has a bad picker in your relationships? That's what that one feels like to me. It's like the people who are like, oh, you know, they ignore all the red flags. They don't pay any attention to anything. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't know this was who you were. It's like, I showed you who I was from day one and you just didn't believe it. Yeah. So
just skip. Yeah, you can skip right over the duck one.
Yeah, please do.
Fast forward. If you watch it, just fast forward through the sex scene. It's fine. But
it's just so like that shouldn't even be on TV. But anyway,
it's streaming. It's streaming.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. But I think I will. The only other episode I think I will watch is the one where the woman returns her husband, because that one is the only one that I haven't seen yet that sounds a little bit intriguing. But other than that,
some of the
husbands who solves her own murder. Those two are probably the only other two.
Be very
I don't care about the horse. I don't care about the duck. Yeah.
But the one where the woman who returns her husband. The catch is, well, if you drop off one, you gotta take one though.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. You could try everything then. In that case, you could be a tall husband, a short husband.
Yeah. That's basically what the lady was doing. It was I don't know. It was. It was funny.
I have an old one.
It was
Can I
cute.
Get a rich one?
It was funny, but then I was kind of like in and out of it because I was just kind of like, all right.
It's not that big of a one.
All right, but I got it. Roar, Apple TV. Just don't even do it. Just don't even do it.
And that's what our podcast is for, to tell you what not to do. Just save your time. Save yourself some minutes of your life. So, all right. Well, what I have next is something that I may also say you probably don't want to do it.
Right.
And I don't do
Is this your first one?
I
think this is your first one that you're talking about. So I'm usually the bad guy. You're the good cop. I'm the bad cop.
It might
I'm the one that's like, your show sucks, but you need to take it off the air.
I'm still on the fence about it. Okay, so it's called Triangle of Sadness.
Okay, I think that's on my list to watch.
Okay. It's a ride. Okay. It's a ride. It's a 3-part.
What is this on? Peacock?
It is. I actually got to it through Hulu.
Hulu, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what station it originally was on when I first tried to watch it, because somehow people were correlating it with Glass Onion, and I'm not sure. I know it's not the same director. Maybe it's the same writers or something like that.
It's because it's a whatchamacallit book. It's based on the what's the lady name that you like? Book lady, the lady who writes the books.
I don't know.
What's
the lady who writes the book? Okay, you think about it. You Google it.
No, the lady
about
who writes all the mystery books that you used to read when you were
Patricia
younger.
Cornwell?
No, the other lady.
I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about Agatha Christie?
Yes, I was thinking. I was like, Christie, what? What is it? Christie. I'm thinking. I was like, it's not Christie.
Yeah, Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie.
Yeah,
so I think it's another Agatha Christie thing.
Books.
I think that's what that is.
Is it? Okay, maybe.
I
Google that.
believe so. Yeah, I'm gonna Google that.
Say Google that. Triangle of Sadness.
Does it have what's the guy's name?
No, it doesn't have Hercule Poirot, and it doesn't have Miss Marple in it. So that's why I was like not thinking it was an Agatha Christie. It's not even a murder thing. Like, it's weird. Anyway, so Triangle of Sadness. It's a movie. It starts off, and it's about the fashion industry. It has 3 parts, right? So it's about the fashion industry. So when it starts off, they're showing male models and this person who's interviewing them, and it's like, hey, how do you feel being a male model? And you get 1/3 of what female models get, you know, and just like, you're walking for Balenciaga, show me your face, and it's all stern. And then, okay, now you're walking for The Gap or Banana Republic, and it's all happy and smiles. Balenciaga. Banana Republic, Balenciaga. So, you know, it's like just that whole, like, you have to look all like serious and, you know, sucking in your cheekbones, you know, when you're walking for Balenciaga and all that. So they're going through all of that. And then you see that the interesting part of being at a fashion show. So it's like, okay, I'm at the fashion show. I have a front row seat until somebody more important comes. And then they're like, we're going to move you. You get out the way. And then the more important people sit here. And then the more important people are like, oh, well, I actually have another person that I invited that it doesn't even supposed to be here. So now another person has to like move from the front row to make room for these all important people. I always thought that would be like Beyonce. If Beyonce came and just showed up at a fashion show, even if she didn't have a ticket, they would probably just make a space for Beyonce in the front row of the fashion show, just absolutely. Because you know that it's going to be a social media.
She's going to be sitting beside that lady that with the
Anna Windsor, from
Kylie, get up with your lion, get up with your lion,
exactly.
And let Beyonce sit down.
No, I don't think they'll move Kylie, but they definitely move like one of the Real Housewives or something. You know, like whoever would be out there. You know, they would be like, okay, but we
they're going to be like, all right, we're going to need you to leave, and we're going to need all y'all to slide down.
That's literally what they did in this movie.
Get out of here.
That's what I'm saying. They literally had everybody slide down, and the guy that you're watching, who's the male model, he was the one standing there, and he was just like, well, where am I supposed to sit? And they were like, oh, in the back, we have a space for you. So then he had to go and sit in the back. So anyway, so then they show him and his girlfriend, who becomes, I guess she was his fiance really a little bit later. And they're at dinner, and the check comes, and of course, she's the female model making 3 times more than he does. So therefore, the check comes, and she's like, oh, thanks, babe, you know, for picking up the check. And he was like, but you didn't even try to grab it. And she was like, da, 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 you know. So they have this whole argument.
Please tell me she was on her phone the whole time. Thank you, baby. I love
she
you.
pretty much was. I think she was looking at her makeup.
Taking
a
picture.
Thing. Yeah. Yeah, because she's an influencer as well as a model, of course. And so anyway, what ends up happening is they get into this huge argument, but they realize, you know what, we love each other. So then part 2 starts. Part 2 is where they actually are on a yacht. And it's this beautiful yacht where basically you see the people, if you've ever watched Below Deck on Bravo, and like the people who all get together and talk and they live on the boat and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a meeting with all those people who are just like, so we don't tell them no. We do whatever they tell us to do, whatever they want. These people are rich, like super rich, like billionaire rich. So you just do what they want to do. And in the end, hopefully you'll get some money, you know, like huge tips and stuff like that. So it is a class movie. Because it's really about the haves and the have-nots. Okay. It's about the classism of it all, where like, so some rich woman is just sitting by the pool and she's like, it's just not fair that I was born into this type of lifestyle. And I mean, you, on the other hand, are bringing me champagne, and like, you should be in the pool and I bring you get in the pool. Go ahead, get in the pool. I'll go get you the champagne. Oh, and the girl is like, I can't get in the pool. I'm working.
What are you thinking?
No. Get it. And she insists because she's super rich.
Oh, yeah,
If
yeah.
this girl gets to the pool and you can't tell him no. So the girl's trying to say, no, I can't. But she was already told, don't say no.
Yeah.
So then here she goes trying to get in the pool. Next thing you know, this lady has where everybody who works at the pool.
In the pool.
No, has to do a water slide down into the ocean. Like they actually dock the ship. And every person who works there, from the kitchen to the cleaning crew to the waiters and waitresses and everybody, they all have to put on their bathing suits, stop what they're doing, because this one lady who's mega, mega rich wants them to slide down a slide and go into the ocean. So this happens. Well, this leads to the night of the captain's dinner. Guess who the captain is, sis?
Who's that?
Woody Harrelson.
Oh, get out of here.
I don't know anybody else on this whole show.
But you
I
know
didn't
Woody
recognize a
Harrelson.
single soul, but Woody Harrelson.
I feel like Woody Harrelson is on everything now. Doesn't he have like a movie out in theaters or something?
I don't know.
He has a movie out in theaters
I
with
think so, yeah.
with some kids or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
He's just
what it was.
showing up for cameos everywhere because this is truly a cameo performance.
Oh, really?
So what happens is that he's in his room, and the girl who's like, or the lady who's like the Julie McCoy from The Love Boat, the cruise director, she's knocking on his door. Hey, are you going to come out? Are you going to do the captain's dinner? We can push it back. Woody's in there drunk as a skunk, and he's supposed to be manning the ship.
Oh,
but
so
he's in his room drunk.
So he did a Denzel Washington in that movie Flight?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Denzel wasn't drunk in Flight, was he?
And
oh
Flight?
my gosh, I can't
When
remember.
he flew- when he flew the plane upside
let's
down?
not
Absolutely,
get distracted
yeah,
because
yeah.
you know how we do. So anyway, back to this. So lo and behold, they finally get him out for the captain's dinner. He's still drinking champagne and everything else. And the dinner begins, but because the lady had everybody get in the water, food poisoning for everybody because they left all the food out. Because the guy basically said, if everybody's going to do this, then we got prepared for something. And every dish was a seafood dish.
Oh, of course.
So as you're watching the movie, I'm not. All I'm gonna say is that I was looking at this movie like this is the slowest, most boring, idiotic, argumentative movie I've ever seen. Because it starts off, part one, the guy with the girl who's the model and them arguing about a check for a good 20
So it
minutes.
sounds like White Lotus.
It's very White Lotus, but worse. So, it's not as good. Maybe I should say that as White Lotus because it's the same thing. It's about classism. It's about some of it's about racism. Some of it is about feminists and the masculine feminine roles and who should be doing what, which goes into why he should have been paying for the check, but she's like, I make more money, so I'll have to pay for the check and like all this kind of stuff. And so it's got a lot of layers and a lot going on. But long story short, everybody starts getting sick on this boat. And when I say I laughed out loud, very loudly.
You don't even laugh out loud.
I do not. But that part was worth watching the whole thing, in all honesty. Like, it was the most disgusting thing I have ever seen. And sometimes I like dark humor, but this part was like, it was just another level. Like, you might even want to just forget all the front part. Just know that it's a couple who argues all the time and they end up on this boat. That might be it. And just know they're
just fast forward through that.
The young couple on the boat is the ones who had the arguments about the the check and who was going to pay for it. You don't even need to see the first act. Second act through, that's probably where the bread and butter is. So that's the part that I almost feel like I can't really say to watch it because it was so slow in the beginning. It picked up in the middle. It went bonkers at the end. And then it ended in a horrible way where you have no idea about anything in life. So, but I'll say this. First part, boyfriend, girlfriend, arguing about a check. Second part,
food poisoning.
Yacht, food poisoning, rich privilege, White Lotus stuff. Mm. And then third part, a deserted island. And and there were some pirates in the middle, like, but not like, you know, like how the whole thing was with
Captain
yeah, with Captain Phillips and I can't think, but yeah, because Woody Harrelson got drunk and started talking on the loudspeaker about communism and Marxism and socialists and capitalism. Like, he just went on this whole dissertation about all this crazy stuff, and then the next thing you know, these pirates out in the water were like, oh, what's that noise? Oh, it's a yacht. Yeah, let's go on top of it. And let's go.
That means money.
Let's get on it.
Of course.
And then that creates a scenario in which people end up on an island. And so,
okay,
it is insanity.
Okay,
it's boring. It's crazy.
So it's boring, funny, and then crazy.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. Like crazy,
boring,
sexy,
funny,
cool.
Crazy.
Yep. It's boring, funny to me. Now, my sense of humor is all over the place, but boring, funny, absolutely bonkers. So, and then ends on such a note that you're just like, why did I waste my time? So,
okay,
that's kind of,
so the ending is garbage.
Yeah. And I even had to go to YouTube to just say, can somebody explain the ending? And then I watched the director.
I should do that for Roar. I should do that for Roar. Maybe.
And then I looked at the director, and he was just like, I wanted to leave it to everybody's own interpretation. Because that's what the person said that was interviewing. I was like, so why did you not give any closure at the ending where, you know, and leave it to people's interpretation? And he said, because I wanted to leave it to people's interpretation. So I was like, great. We'll never know. So
he didn't have a real ending. He was just like, oh, we'll see what people come up with.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway.
He's a genius.
I don't know. Because, you know, as a person who invests the time and energy into watching an almost 2.5 hour film, I want to have some closure.
2.5 hours.
It's long. I mean, I don't know if all of it was that long or if that's just the time with the beginning and the end and all that kind of stuff. But
I get what you're saying.
The beginning was extremely slow. Once it started going on the yacht on through, and I mean, it's just weird cast of characters that just popped up on there. Some guy who has an older woman sitting beside him that I thought was his wife, but then this other girl comes up and she's like, hey, sweetie, do you mind if I buy this? And he's like, oh, go ahead. And then she ends up, thanks, babe. And then she buys it. So I don't know if he had a wife and a girlfriend and both of them are on the boat. Like, they never explained it. I have no idea.
Okay.
There was one rich guy who does apps. He was a billionaire. He was offering to buy people Rolexes. There was, a lady who just kept saying everything on this boat is absolutely amazing. And it was such a beautiful day and beautiful sky, but the sails were dirty. Can you clean them?
Oh my God.
And they were just so gray and dirty. I mean, I really feel as though it messed up what I was trying to see. So can you clean them? And Woody Harrelson was like, well, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's drunk, number one. He's like, no, we can't. And part of the reason we can't is because it's a motorized boat and there are no sails. So I don't know what you're talking about.
What sails is she talking about? You know what? She was on a bunch of pills.
So
that
then
sounds
it became,
like...
But honey, when we booked this, didn't the boat have sails? We remember seeing sails as part of the advertisement of this boat.
Yeah, I've never seen a yacht with sails on it. That's usually a sailboat.
Yeah, don't get me.
Okay.
It was a very strange cast of characters just behind the scenes on here.
I kind of still want to watch it.
Woody Harrelson. So, Triangle of Sadness. Oh, and they explain what the Triangle of Sadness is. Probably in the first 10 minutes of what the Triangle of Sadness is. So you don't have to wonder why they named it Triangle of Sadness. Okay. And that's what I have. Okay, you're good.
All right. So, that was... Okay, that was a good thing.
Watch it or not.
Yeah, watch it or not. Mm-hmm. All right, so my next one is raunchy. Okay, this one is called Sex/Life. It is on Netflix. It's a TV show.
Okay.
I don't know how it just came up on my I was typing in something that came up and I was just like, oh hey, I know that girl. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing her from Elware, so I was like, oh, let me see what this show is about. Watched the trailer for it. I was like, okay, I can watch this. So just to go ahead and tell you about it. So the the cast is Sarah Shahi, Mike Vogel, Margaret Odette, and Cleo Anthony. You've probably seen these people in like something for like, if it's a full season, they were probably in like a TV show for like maybe 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
gotcha,
3.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Probably not the whole season. I've never really seen. I've seen the guy Mike Fogel. I've seen him in things, but I haven't seen him in things in years. So he usually does like Hallmark type movie. So
Gotcha.
yeah, but this is the absolute opposite. So so Sarah Shahi's character Billy, right? So she's a stay-at-home mom with, with a great and handsome husband. She's like, oh my God, he's so handsome. He's so perfect. He's everything. And that is Mike Vogel. His character's name is Cooper.
Okay.
So they moved from New York. They're together. They're little, like, this is how it starts off. They're getting together. He was like, you know what? I want to show you this house. I'm gonna buy this house. Blah 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 blah. And then he takes her into the house, and it's in Connecticut. So now they're moving to Connecticut because they're together, married, and
living the dream.
Yeah, of course, living the dream. So when they go to Connecticut, what ends up happening is like they just become like boring. So Billy is the stay-at-home mom with the 2 kids.
Okay.
And her husband Cooper works out in the city of New York, which I didn't realize. Is that a thing where people go from Connecticut to New York?
Absolutely.
How close
all
is
the
that?
time? I don't know. I mean, it's not an hour.
Well, I guess it would be like people driving from Richmond.
And you could take like a train and stuff like that. Yeah, but a lot of people do that. Yep. I knew somebody who did that. Yeah.
So Billy has like this crazy past with her ex, whose name is Brad, and he's played by Adam Damos. So the past is very sexual. I mean, like, they pretty much had sex everywhere, all the time, whenever.
Okay.
I mean, like, public, private, doesn't matter.
Wow.
So they were like very, very promiscuous. And they loved that. Like, that was their thing. And oh, hold on, I lost my spot.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So basically, what ends up happening is, no, I lost it again. Wait, I need to get some glasses. All right.
Oh, you want to put on mine?
I might have to. No. All right. So here's what I got it. All right. So she is thinking about her ex so much that it now is causing like an issue with her and her husband.
Okay.
And so what happens is she ends up like going and telling one of her friends about it, and her friend's just like, okay, first of all, you were done with him 8 years ago. He was a piece of crap. Leave him alone, blah, blah, blah. What happens? She bumps into him.
Of course.
She bumps into him. But when she bumps into him, she's like, oh no, I'm not having this. Like, this is the worst thing ever. Leaves. Okay, get it. Fine. But then she's thinking about him so much. She has a laptop that she has a journal. And with this journal, she's writing down everything. She's writing down how much her husband is garbage in bed. He's like, he's a good man, but he's very blah. And then, like, sometimes, like, she was like, when she was trying to have sex with him, and he was trying to look around her to watch the game.
Oh, goodness.
And she's like, wait, are you kidding me right now? Mm-hmm. So that's, I don't know. But anyway, what ends up happening with all of that is that with the laptop, her writing down all this stuff, she's been writing down stuff for like forever. Like that's her like, her journal. Like, that's how she gets her thoughts and everything out. It basically could be a book, the way she's writing it, because she's writing it like narrative.
Okay. Instead
of just writing down like free thinking or whatever. So now that she's seen Brad, like, all these feelings have come back, right? So she has anger, excitement, passion, fear.
Okay.
But with the causing of a strain on her and her husband's relationship, and that she bumped into him, now it's like, well, let me see, maybe I should like go and see what's going on with this. Like, maybe I should figure it out. Anyway, but some things happen.
Okay.
And then not like some progress on through it, but some things happen, and then they make those they make the show wild and crazy, but it's like good. I mean, it's packed full of like wrong decisions and drama and sex, so that sells.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
that's what everybody wants to see. Why do you think it's like a reality show?
Gotcha.
So, it has a lot of sex. I mean, like a lot of sex. Like, I had to fast forward through some of it. And I was just like, oh, am I watching 3 people having sex in different scenes?
Oh my!
It's like clip to this one, clip to this one, clip to this one, clip back, clip back, clip back. And I was just like, this is too much.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's kind of like softcore porn, basically. It's how they make it seem. It's like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, no.
That's what it's like.
I mean, for some people, Bridgerton and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, it's an emotional roller coaster.
Okay.
I mean, it's a emotional roller coaster for the characters and for whoever is watching it, because you're just like, what are you doing? No, don't do that. And then, no, don't, go ahead and do that. No, why are you doing this? Like, so you're in there, you're feeling all the emotions and everything. So that's what makes it good. So season 2 just came out. It came out Thursday, which, so I watched season 1. Season 2 came out Thursday, and I was like, all right.
Is it something that you're going to check out?
So I already started watching season 2. Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know season 2 came out. I was on the last episode. It was like, you want to play the next episode? And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no. You right on time.
And I was like, oh, wait, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and watch this because it just came out today.
Yeah.
But I mean, so far it seems okay. I haven't seen a lot of sex in it.
Okay.
It's more of a storyline.
I wonder if they got feedback.
Maybe.
Over the last year since it came out. But yeah. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. But the storyline now is just getting very deep and detailed, and it's like timing is something that is a big issue with this TV show. So I like it. I think that it's good, but then also I'm like, bro, y'all gotta chill with all these sex scenes. Like, y'all gotta relax.
Yeah. So hopefully season 2 will be better. Because you know what else was like that when I first started watching it? You was like that a little bit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that just kind of dissipated a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, they would throw some stuff in there here and there.
But just because sex sells and people are probably just watching it, so like
that much. I mean, like, as much as you're talking about there, or for some of this other stuff, it's like, is it necessary?
I don't know.
You know, but yeah. Okay.
I mean, I do like the show because of like how the storyline is and everything. Because I'm trying to figure out like what's about to happen next.
Yeah,
who's gonna be with who? Who's gonna like who is it? Are y'all gonna stay married? Are you gonna get divorced? Like, do you have a baby on the way? Like, your child is walking now. It's like so. It's a lot of things into it, and I think it's pretty decent for it to be a show that I've never seen anything about. Never seen like a preview or anything about it.
Yeah,
it was on Netflix. So, I mean, hey, it came back for season 2, so it has to be pretty good. That's all I'm thinking.
And the name of it again?
The name of it is Sex/Life.
Okay.
So it's like Sex Life.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, sorry, what you got, Miam?
Yeah, so we only have a few minutes left, so I'm just going to say a short sentence.
Okay.
Chris Rock, Netflix Live about the slap. Taking place on Sunday. So, on Saturday. Sorry, I'm saying Saturday.
Wait, live?
Yeah,
live. He's doing it live.
On a Netflix Live. It's going to be Netflix first live comedy special.
Oh, so they're actually doing it like live?
Yeah, of Chris Rock.
Huh.
And they're assuming, and they're leading up to him talking about the slap like he's finally ready to talk about it. So, yeah. That's really all I was going to say, really, because we don't know enough about what he's going to talk about. Yeah, no, but
that's still a thing, though.
Talk about it. So, yeah, so Netflix Live TV on Saturday, they'll have one of his stand-up shows. So I think he has a 4-show contract with them for $40 million. And so this will be, I think, his second. And, yeah, so maybe people will tune in to watch it.
I'm definitely going to tune in.
Yeah.
Hopefully he brings in Will Smith.
Oh,
and
I
they can
doubt
laugh
that.
about it. They can laugh about it now. They'll be funny.
I don't know. That'll be interesting, but it'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for anybody who wants to watch.
Yeah, I'm going to watch.
Yeah, okay.
Does it say how long it is?
It does not. No, I don't think that they know just
like
yet.
A comedy thing is probably like maybe an hour, maybe 90 minutes or an hour or something like that.
Yeah, usually something like that. So, yeah, I think that they said that he's been doing the comedy circuit even since the award show, and since the Slap award show, and that he actually did go through and what was I going to say? Like, just talk through different things about the Slap in his, like, just trying to work his material, I guess. That's what they do.
Yeah, I got you.
You work it.
Because that's what you have to do. You have to go around and test it out, and you got to tweak it every
Exactly.
You know where I learned that from? Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yep, this is true. Yep, Maisie did that. And so, so I think that's really what it was about, was him just going through and working through it. And now I guess he feels like it's ready, and he's ready to talk about it. And I think it'll be interesting, because I think that 2021...
It was last year sometime. Okay.
I mean, was it 22? 22?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was 2022, around this time of year last year, because then Will Smith went into hiding for about 3, 4, 5 months. Then he started coming back out to sell or to market, I guess I should say, the movie Emancipation, because he was like, I didn't want people to hold against me and not watch Emancipation.
Yeah, I started watching Emancipation. I didn't even finish it.
Yeah.
It is horrible.
Is it horrible?
I don't like it. And then him trying to do like an African accent, bro, too. Because, I don't know, it's African.
Well, that's what he said. Everybody was talking about his accent, but he said it was supposed to be part French, part African, part Creole.
Okay, well, that's what it is, kind of what it sounds like. Yeah, but it's also... he said
that was the real man's...
You know, I think I just really don't like his voice. I think that's what it is. It's something about his voice that I'm just like, bro, it's something like... I don't know. There's something about his voice that I don't like that I don't know why.
There you go. So that could be it. But yeah, so that is what we have this week, everybody, on Sestra-Tainment. We hope everybody has a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week this time. Take care, everybody.
Bye.